Third puzzle has two sections, master retailing and master recruiting. Master retailing, whose responsibility is it? Whose? You got to take pride in your customer service. You got to understand the value and importance of retailing. You got to become value focused. Get the dollar signs out of your eyes. Master the 3-day, 14, 29-day call. Create multiple sales through the tools that we offer, through the referrals, the buttons, the brochures, the mini billboards, the car signs, drop cards. After you've gotten to a pretty good routine of retailing, run the magic ad just so you can get some experience in the cold market, answering the telephone. Whose responsibility is it to master retailing? Do y'all really understand that? See, some of you have been here for 6, 7 months. You still haven't got it. You don't know what a 14-day call is. Don't you think you're going to go to national director until you learn that? See, some of you got to stop and you got to complete this puzzle right here. Have you put this puzzle together yet? Have you? Have some of you mastered it? Those of you that haven't, whose responsibility is to master it? Do you all follow what I'm saying? Yes. I'm showing you this thing, puzzle by puzzle by puzzle by puzzle. The last puzzle in this section is master recruiting. The goal is 5 people consistently a month. How many of you in the last 90 days have had at least 1 month where you've put 5 people in the program? Stand up. Let's give these people a hand. Now, whoa, don't sit yet. Don't sit yet. How many of you have done it 3 months in a row? Give them a hand. Oh, wait. Whoa, stand up. If you are not a national director, the ones that stood up first, you're almost there. You that are standing up, you've probably completed this puzzle. But the rest of you got a lot of work to do. Give them another hand. Y'all sit down. Well, I see some strange looks right now. You can't grow till you can do 5 a month. You can't. You can replace what you're losing on 2 or 3 a month. But you got to do 5 a month. 5 a month. 5 a month. 5 a month. 5 a month, 5 a month, 5 a month. Say, Dale, I've been in it 90 days. I haven't got 1 yet. So, get 1. Get 1 a month. Get 1 a month. Then get 2. Then get 3. Then get 4. And then get to where you can get 5. Get to where you can get 5. Once you get 5, you can control your entire destiny. You know who can get 5? Anybody who keeps trying. Anybody that keeps trying. You got to master this. You got to master the process. You got to take that, how to build a nationwide organization, or how to recruit using a videotape, and you got to internalize it. You got to start saying the right things. You got to understand things like scratch me off my list. What are you doing Monday night? You got to follow up quickly. You got to take that tape and start doing it the way it's designed for you to do. That's what you got to do. And you got to do a lot of it. And the more you do it, the better you're going to become. And the more you do it, the easier it's going to get. Well, I've really discouraged some of y'all, haven't I? Your faces are like this. You're still worrying about 5 a month. Does that seem... Those of you that are doing it, it's no big deal once you get there. I can remember some of these people standing up, they couldn't do 5 a month. You got to get to 5 a month. Now, do you believe you can get to 5 a month? If you do, you will. If you do, you will. All right. Make me a note. Take this part out next time I do this. No. You gotta master the referral process, the initial phone call. It's all on that tape. You gotta master the recruiting process. Internalize the pieces in recruiting. Number one, people won't follow you if you don't know where you go. Fake it till you make it. Some of you are living in apartments. As soon as you start making some money here, you're going to go out and you're going to buy yourself a home. Wait, buy yourself a car first. People see what they drive, what you drive, they don't know where you live. The sable Ron was talking about. Gosh. But I had it new. He saw it 7 years later. I had that car when I was living in that little house. Because people saw what I was driving, they didn't see where I was living. It's all a numbers game. Sort, don't convince. All this, guys, you've heard. Now, here's what happens, and I'm going to do a whole training on this sometime. And the name of the tape is going to be The Psychological Evolution of a Professional Network Marketer, Recruiter, Trainer. Now, here's what's going to happen. Phase one, and we all go through this, it's the amateur stage where we try to beg and convince everybody. If you didn't get in this business when you first got in and you tried to beg and convince everybody, I would say stand up, but I don't want to see the liars in the room. You come in this industry, you try to beg and convince everybody. Some of you have been here for 2 years. You're still doing that. Quit it. And there's about 5 stages. The last stage that you will eventually get to is the stage where you realize, I've got the gold phase. Well, I only need 2 a year, and you're looking at that person, you're saying, I really wonder if you're worth my time, energy, and effort anyway for me to be talking to you. Once you get to that point, it's going to explode for you. You won't believe what's going to happen. We were talking last night, somebody said, I just can't get my husband to just shut up. He gets them going, and then he just talks them right out of it. He tries to talk them into it. He tries to over-explain, over-analyze. Guys, you got to quit doing that. You got to understand you got the gold. They don't need you. You need, whatever I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to say. They need you. You don't need them. Find your 2 a year and go through the numbers and quit trying to convince everybody. Now, it's obvious, I don't need to really ask this question. How many of you put this puzzle together? Because most of you haven't yet. But you got to get to 5 a month consistently. You got to believe you can. Do you believe you can? Yes. If you do, you will. You'll get there. Well, I've discovered a major, major thing here today. The Nationals have got to spend more time with people on how to recruit. It's not their fault, but it's just like, man, we should have a room full of people putting in 5, 7, 8, 10 every month. The first way to increase your recruiting is to increase your retailing. You understand that? Yeah. Okay. Once you've gone through this, you're now in the top 25% of all network marketers in this country. Once you complete those puzzles, you're there. You got the philosophy, you got the reasons, you got 4 beliefs. You're still working on yourself every day. You've mastered retailing, you've mastered recruiting. At that point, you're in the top 25% of people in this industry all over the United States. You can do this, guys. You can complete those puzzles. You can complete those puzzles. You can complete those puzzles. Just take it piece by piece, puzzle by puzzle. Complete it, complete it, complete it. Are y'all with me?
Yeah. Yes.
Do you have a little bit clearer picture?
Yes.
Well, the remainder of the afternoon, we're going to take a short break and we'll fill in the last picture. It'll take about 35, 40 minutes. Please try not to go anywhere. Let's take a 10-minute break. Thank you. When this training was recorded, I sincerely believe that anybody, number one, could master launching their business, a retail to recruit process system, a two-step recruiting process. And I sincerely believe that those that mastered those fundamentals, those foundations, and I mean mastered them, that they could, that they would know more than, and understand more than, what did I say? I think I said than 75% of the people in the industry. Something like that. I can't remember. It was around that. Today, I believe people that master those three things and master them are in the top 1% without question in this profession. Because the industry has become one that you join something and then you call all your people that have been in the last 7 deals with you, or that you were in with them. And all the industry's really done is recruit each other. And over time and natural depreciation of people, that it's not going to work over a long period of time. It's about developing new leadership. It's about recruiting people that have never been involved in the industry. So when I say master launching, or what we called in the video the plan of action, that's a launch is what I call it today, and mastering retail to recruit, and 3-day, 14, 29-day follow-up, and understand if they buy once, they're a suspect. If they buy twice, they're a prospect. If they buy 3 times, they're a customer. And understanding the recruiting process. Play 1, create curiosity. Play 2, let them hear the whole story. Understanding those things and mastering them will put you in the top 99%, period, today. But what is mastery? Now, years after this was recorded, I ran across one of the best webinars I've ever heard just on the subject of mastery. The gentleman that did it, I think, wrote a book about it. I'll find it, put it in the bonus section here for you. But mastery is basically getting material and information from your conscious mind to your subconscious. When you hear the recruiting system, when we all start anything new, in the beginning, we're unconsciously incompetent. We don't have a clue what we're doing, but we don't know that we don't know what we're doing. We're unconsciously incompetent. But at least we're taking action. Because in network marketing, the start stops most people. So at least they're taking action. But they're unconsciously incompetent. They're just doing it with the skill sets and mindsets that they enter the profession with. And if you can get it off the ground with the skill sets and mindsets that you enter the profession with, I promise you, you're going to have challenges down the road duplicating. Promise you. So, unconsciously incompetent, and then if you give people the scripts and the processes, then they can get to a level where they're consciously competent. Okay, they have to think about it, but they can go from, so, well, here the process is, you start off, you're unconsciously incompetent. Then one day you wake up and you're consciously incompetent. You realize, I don't have a clue what I'm doing. That's when most people quit. So, consciously incompetent to consciously incompetent. I'm not competent at all. But with the right training and the right scripts and the right direction and the right leadership, people can start at a point of being unconsciously or consciously competent, where they can do their 3-day follow-up and they can follow a script and they can be consciously competent. They can do it, but they have to think about it. And then you get to a point, humans do, all of us do, where we're unconsciously incompetent. We can do it in our sleep. A great example of this is learning how to drive a 5-speed. You know, clutch in, up, first gear, second, going through that, and you have to think through it. But you can do it, but you have to really think through it and pray that you don't hit the stoplight on the hill. But after a while, after you've done it, you can be driving your 5-speed, eating,
rolling your window down and tuning your radio all at the same time. You're unconsciously competent. That's the goal of network marketing. Develop well-trained people, and you do it sequentially, and systematically. One other note I had, I want to make sure I find it. Well, it's actually questions I wanted to ask you. Right now, what is your launch process? You've got a brand new people. How do you get them launched? What is it? What is your customer acquisition system? Do your people know that this is not about one-time sales? It's not about going into the marketplace and selling a product one time. It's about follow-up, creating that second order, and then that once you have the third order, now you can call them a customer. But what is your customer acquisition process right now? And then thirdly, what is your recruiting process? Your play one, play two, what is your process? And see, if you can't answer those questions, I'm going to cover a lot more in this series, in this training, but that has to be answered. How? Not just one of them. There's a lot of people in the marketplace. Man, they've got their play one, play two. We do a webinar every Tuesday night. They got that down. There's other people that have great customer acquisitions. But it's the whole, all the pieces of the puzzle. All the pieces. Not just being really good at this, so I'll let this take me as far as it'll take me. This is about helping you maximize all the time, energy, and effort you put into building a team. And it's seeing this from a bigger picture. It's not just the fact that people like your Big Mac to have a successful franchise. You have to know how to do payroll. You have to have some schedule to keep your parking lot clean. It's all the pieces together is what's going to help you maximize your potential. So again, what are your three? And if you don't know those, now's the time to learn it. Now's the time to start. Now's the time to get it from your head to your heart, internalize it, so you can teach it. You will not teach somebody to drive a 5-speed if you don't know how to do it.
I know it's been a long day, and I just want to ask you guys to just stay with me, because I sure don't want them to videotape you going. And there's nobody here that's tireder than I am, believe me, I promise you. So just stay with me, because the last part of this over time is going to mean a tremendous difference, I think, in your business. Up to this point, you should understand the puzzles that we've talked about up to now. And you got to understand that you can put them together piece by piece, puzzle by puzzle. And we're going to talk to you about going now from the top 25% of people in this industry to the top 95%. What it's going to take you to go, after you've completed your first series of puzzles, the last series of puzzles to take you to the top. And I want to share this with you before we get started. It says, face it, nobody owes you a living. You achieve or fail to achieve in your lifetime, what you achieve or fail to achieve in your lifetime is directly related to what you do or what you fail to do. In New Image, it's directly related to if you put the puzzles together or if you don't put the puzzles together. No one chooses his parents or his childhood, but you can choose your own direction. Everyone has problems and obstacles to overcome. But that too is relative to each individual. Nothing is carved in stone. You can change anything in your life if you want to bad enough. Your reasons are strong enough. Excuses are for losers. Those who take responsibility for their actions are the real winners in life. Winners meet challenges head on, knowing that there are no guarantees, and give it all they've got and never think it's too late or too early to begin. Time plays no favorites and will pass whether we act or not. Take control of your life. Dare to take risks. Compete. If you aren't willing to work for your goals, don't expect anybody else to be. I think that's awesome. I really do. After you've mastered the basics, after you've got the foundation set in this business, there's a thing that I call the plateau. Not everybody hits the plateau, but what I find a lot of times is once a person gets a senior or area director, and a lot of times a regional director, they think, oh, I've made it, I've got it made, and they hit a plateau. They become lazy, they don't work as hard as they normally worked, they sit back and wait for their downline to make them successful. You got to understand that in this business, success comes from doing the monotonous. You know, we all get excited when the mini billboards come out. Oh, this is it. This is it. It's going to make me successful. No, it's not. It's going to help, but it's not going to make you successful. Success comes from the monotonous, from stuff in the funnel month after month after month after month, from retailing to recruit, to look for your 2 a year. Same thing, day in, day out. It's monotonous. After a while, once you get unconsciously competent, it's just you can do this thing in your sleep. It's just doing it day in, day out. Get rid of the duds, try to find the good ones. Get rid of the duds, try to find the good ones. Same thing, day in, day out. That's what this business is. And sometimes we get sidetracked and we start looking for a quicker, faster, easier way. And here's the thing that I hear most often, and the thing that I realize, and things that you don't realize, and that is that your knowledge in any profession always comes before your income. See, a lot of you, I hear this all the time, oh, if I only knew then what I knew now, what I know now. Well, after 2 years in the program, they think, golly, if I just knew back when I got started what I know now, I'd be a national director. And that's true. But now you know it. So do the right things the next 2 years, and guess what? You'll be a national director. See, knowledge always comes before income. If I want to be a dentist, I got to go to school for 4, 5, 6 years to get the knowledge, and then I start my practice to become a dentist. That's when the income comes. Knowledge always comes before income. Some of you are really good. Your knowledge is there, but your income is not 1/10 yet of what it's going to be. But you got to get the knowledge first. Does this make sense? Okay, next concept. Titles mean nothing. We've got regional directors that prove it. Had a guy at the national conference. We gave everybody a raise. He was a senior, or he was going to be a new senior area director. Writes me, calls me, complaining, griping. I can't believe what y'all did. I just can't believe it. I was almost a regional. I said, did you get a raise? Yeah, I got a raise. But I was almost a regional. Did you get a raise? Yes, I got a raise. But I was almost a regional. Titles don't mean squat. The guy quit over it. How stupid is that? Isn't that stupid? Titles don't mean anything. Some of you are working so hard to become a regional. In the process, you're not developing your people and you're not building a business. Some of you are working too hard to get a title instead of building your business. You really are. So you got to be aware of that. You can't teach that which you do not know. What happens to people that get the title without putting the puzzles together, without putting the pieces together? They become frustrated, misdirected, and they start to blame. See, they didn't put the pieces together, therefore they can't teach anybody else how to put the pieces together. Make sense? But they got the position, they got the title. They don't have the knowledge, they got the title. Then when the things start unraveling, they start to blame their upline, downline, new image, Ron, me, and my dog. And the reality is they got the title without the knowledge. I want you to have the knowledge. I don't care what your title is. All I care are you putting the puzzles together piece by piece, day by day, and coming down the road. See, that's what's critical because that's going to determine your long-term success. And what people do, instead of looking at the cover of the box, they start looking at new boxes. They start looking at other boxes. And they don't understand that we're the only one with all the pieces in it. That gives me cold chills. And it's disheartening to me.
Back in 97, when this training was produced, there was nobody walking on planet Earth that understood how to systematically sequentially develop network marketing teams like myself and our leadership group. And I've mentioned up to this point, you've heard me talk about Roger and Rhonda. Okay, they came through the system in a previous company prior to that. Carol Ely came through the system prior to that. Jim Jones, you've heard me talk about Phil already, had Phil stand up. High performance, successful entrepreneurs, 3%ers. Phil was in upper management with Clairol, and they were sidelined to us in the business that we were in prior. And they saw average people with above average desire kick their butt. And it was humbling. Jim Jones had one of the most successful insurance agencies in Kentucky, in Fayette County. Again, so when we started, it was a combination of 27%ers who had come through the system prior, and a lot of very high performance traditional business owners who had got involved in network marketing, got it off the ground because of their credibility and their work ethic and their drive, and then watched the whole thing dissipate because it wasn't based upon their skill sets. So when they joined us, they were able to put their ego aside and say, look, I don't know what they're doing, but obviously they're doing something right. My income grew and disappeared, and these people would just keep growing, keep duplicating. And again, I know there's people that are watching this that have had major success in network marketing, but you don't measure it against other people. You measure it against what was your true potential. Helen Keller said, hell starts when the person you are meets the person you could have become. So I hope that this is really, really starting to sink in as we go through this. And see, I know many of you watching this have been around for a long time and have created a lot of success, and you've done it with a lot of drive, determination, skill sets, and mentorless. I don't even know if that's a word, but I meet so many really good people that really love their team, that have just been around for a long time. They've gotten different pieces from different success teachers, but they've never really had a network marketing mentor. There's others who did have a mentor, but were raised in the wrong culture. Some never had a mentor. Some were never taught about leadership development. It was like, get them in, and they could do it and do it well. Get them in. And then others were raised in a completely wrong, dysfunctional environment. And I'm just off the top of my head, Bill Gould, who I don't know if he's still in jail, but some of you know that name. You've been around long enough. And the people that were raised in that culture, they have a slant that's off. There's a couple of people that I know that were raised in his culture, good people, at least one that I know of is in jail. Maybe two are still there. He went to jail. Today, the culture's like, you've got gurus telling people, a few years ago, if you don't have a blog, then you will never be perceived to be a network marketing professional. You must have a blog. We have watched this, guys. We've watched the progression of all this malarkey in this industry. I'm going to show you how to recruit 20 people in 30 days. All the guru crap that is everywhere. As a leader, if you were mentorless or raised in the wrong culture, cool. But it's not on that anymore. Now it's on you. Because I'm taking all that excuse away in this training. It's on you now. And if you're going to build this, and if you're going to recruit other human beings, it's your responsibility to provide them proven, systematic, sequential, wisdom of the ages systems that they can duplicate and come through the process. Because if you don't, they're going to end up finding some self-proclaimed network marketing guru that's going, for only $477, is going to teach them a magic recruiting tweak that is going to be so powerful that people are going to be calling them on the phone every day, screaming their credit card number in the phone, demanding to join them at the highest package, and you're going to have so much success that the company is going to demand that you come and speak at the next national conference. That's the kind of stuff that we all know is all over this industry. I believe it's the number one reason that the industry has fallen in such precipitation over the last couple years, especially where sales in the United States have decreased the last 2 years in the United States. Okay, we can point fingers. Well, they're going to that stupid seminar in Las Vegas and they won't even come to the company conference. And we can all do all that and say all that we want. But there's some quote about when good people do nothing. So I just wanted to just kind of get out my 2x4 one more time and say it's on you now, guys. You're this is it. It's on you. It's your responsibility. If you're going to sponsor people in, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. But you've got to provide the water. You've got to provide the process. You've got to provide the path. And I hope that you're seeing that, leaders, as you're watching this.